It's usually at 5. It's the first time.
All right, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach Lawson, and then we'll open up for questions. Just a reminder, when you ask your question, and speaking to the mic.
I mean, this game had everything. They're really good, and I thought, the start of the second half, obviously, they kind of threw a haymaker at us, and it startled us. And being able to get up double digits, just really proud this group continues to be resilient and not give in to the score or how we were playing at the time, and just keep fighting back. And obviously, it could have gone either way. It was close all the way through, and we just made some plays there late in the fourth, and we finally started to make some shots, outside shots, and I thought that gave us some confidence because we were struggling to make open shots and make open layups in particular. I'll probably cringe counting how many of those we missed, but in spite of all that, we were able to get the win, a big time win for us. Like I said, they're a really good team in the league. To be able to get was that our 8th win? 8th win. That's good at this point. So we'll just keep trying to get better.
All right, we'll open for questions. We'll start with Jim.
Kara, so many things are going wrong. You mentioned the third period. So many things are going wrong. The missed layups, the rebounding, the foul trouble, everything. But watching your team, nobody was hanging their head, nobody was pointing fingers, everybody just seemed to be next play. Speak about that in terms of this game and also in the broader terms of the kind of culture you've developed over here.
Yeah, we just kept reiterating to them in the timeouts, and it's supposed to be hard. I mean, it's Duke Carolina, right? It's supposed to be challenging. You're not gonna have a run for 40 minutes. They're gonna have runs, and they're really good. So they made a run, and let's just focus on getting solid possessions one by one and see if we can get back in this thing. And they just believe. This group believes. They believe that they can play, with the opponent every game. And I think the fact that we had been down in other games, even though it wasn't the second half as much, but we had been down early in games to teams, and we had still shown the ability to come back. I think that experiential wisdom helps, and it helps you with your confidence. And they're an amazing group. They celebrate one another, and that means a lot. That they know that someone has a good game, and people aren't pouting because someone else is having a good game. They just celebrate each other, and they want to win together, and that's what makes it fun to coach them.
And you mentioned making some shots at the end of. It seemed like Mayor had a couple of huge threes, including one with the shot clock running out that gave you the lead. Just talk about her performance down the stretch.
Yeah, down the stretch she did. She made big time shots for us, those 2 threes, and we needed that. I thought she had an up and down game, but the thing that I don't question ever is her competitiveness, her toughness, and her willingness to make plays. She's unafraid, and that's what you want, your point guard. You want someone that's unafraid to make plays, and she made a couple of them big late.
Yeah, and one final question. Even with 5 extra minutes, single-digit turnovers, I don't think there were any turnovers in the overtime. Can you talk about how Duke was able to clean that up?
Hallelujah. I don't know what we did, but we did it, and I am happy about it. I mean, we've struggled with it, as you know. We talked about it. We had been talking about it. I don't know how it changed, but hopefully we can keep that. It's necessary to win these games. I mean, think about this game probably looks a lot different if we had 18 of them versus 9.
Yeah, I think you kind of alluded to it, in the past few answers, but, going into the fourth quarter, 46-34, you're down by 12. What did y'all see from UNC that kind of allowed y'all to, fall back and, ultimately win by 8 points? Yeah.
Well, I don't know that we necessarily saw a weakness to expose or anything like that. We just stayed consistent with what we were doing, and you've just been in these games long enough. The game's going to turn at some point. We feel like if you're putting together good possessions offensively and defensively, I don't know. I just believe we're going to start making shots. We're going to start making layups. If we keep getting these quality looks, it has to turn at some point, and that's what you cling to. Is just that your group is going to be able to dig it out. And they did. They dug it out, and you know, we were fortunate enough to win it in the end.
Yeah, thank you.
So the UNC defense sort of had, you know, sort of a zone look at times, and then you obviously had Delaney working really well off the pick and roll. So sort of two-parter. First, you know, did you know coming in that that's sort of the defensive look you were going to get? And then two, did anything change throughout the course of the game that sort of helped really get those high ball screens and that pick and roll really rolling?
Well, you know, they're one of the best defensive teams in our conference and in the country. They're very good when you look at their numbers. So yes, we did know that it would be hard to score against them, and we did know that, you know, just from film, that they would change their defenses between man and zone, and they do a good job of it. They make it hard for you. So, you know, we did prepare for that, and execution was pretty good. We just weren't finishing. We started to get more stuff when they went man off the ball screens, and that's where you saw. And I thought Ashlyn Jackson was terrific making those passes. You know, I kind of went with her at point guard late instead of Mare, and Mare was in. That's why Mare made 2 corner threes, because Mare was in the corner, you know, in our offense. And I went with Ash because I thought Ash was making really good decisions as a ball handler in screening actions and stuff. And so that's what we did, and that's how we were able to kind of get that. And then Delaney just, I mean, rolled and finished strong. So she did a great job.
Obviously, fourth quarter overtime, you guys came out of the gate really strong. How can you ensure that throughout the whole game? Because first, second, and third quarters.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's what we try to do, but I think as a coach, you just have to be mindful that it's very rare, like, you can do it every quarter. I mean, the other teams are good too. The other teams have good players and good coaches and good game plans and schemes, and so there is a lot of times a feeling out process. What we ask our players to do is have the great effort for the 4 quarters, understanding that there's going to be parts of the game we don't play well. I mean, it's just what it is. Whether it's we're making mistakes, we're turning it over, our rotations are slow, and you've got to correct those when they happen. So instead of, you know, bemoaning the fact that maybe we played a bad first half, it was more of, hey, let's look forward, let's problem solve, or a bad third quarter, like let's figure out how we can, you know, turn this thing around. And you have to have a short memory in this game as a coach and as a player, and they did a good job.
And then one more, how did the Cameron atmosphere contribute to the momentum?
I mean, it was an unbelievable atmosphere. This is the best area to be a college basketball player in the country. It's not close. You know, we have 3 unbelievable schools with great teams, great coaches, great players, and so to play in these environments is amazing. You know, hopefully, you know, all 3 teams can continue to grow and continue to do great things. And, you know, I think it speaks to just the triangle in general. I mean, there were North Carolina fans there too, you know, and I think it just speaks to how this community embraces women's basketball. I mean, think about this. If there were 2 unranked teams playing anywhere else in the country, would there be 9,300 people there to watch it? You know, I don't know the answer to that, but think about that. A lot of times sold out crowds across the country are for teams that are exceptional or a player that's exceptional. And so I think that speaks to, you know, both of our campuses, both of our programs, and what a memorable, you know, afternoon for everybody. Certainly understanding, you know, on the losing side, that's probably not as, they don't want to remember it as much, but it still was a great celebration of 2 really good teams.
We have time for a few more questions. We'll go to Luis, then RL, and then Wayne.
So we know Delaney's very talented, but this season, when you look at like her highest scoring performances, it's coming against on the road against Stanford, home against South Carolina. Now in a big moment like this, I mean, what sense of pride do you have for the way she performed today?
Yeah, I said that to one of our assistants yesterday. I'm not going to say I thought she was going to have 19 points, but I said I just knew she'd play well because of what you said. She's shown the ability to rise against the top teams in the country and impact our team, and so I just knew she'd play well. What a cool thing to have as a coach is that type of confidence. And I didn't know what that would look like. You know, when you say someone's going to play well, it might not be scoring. You know, it might be defensively, it might be rebounding, but she just, she's very focused and she locks in to what her job is. She did that today. I'm so proud of her. She had a tough, one of the best players in the conference, and one of the best players in the country. She had a tough matchup, and I thought she just battled. She battled the whole day.
Take me through, there were 3 possessions for the mid-regulation where it was tied and you got 3 stops there. What did you do defensively during that sprint?
Oh man, I don't know if I can remember them. I know they just missed a layup on the last one. We did not do a good job. So that one wasn't good by us. That was good by them. I think for us, what we did a better job of was just challenging their shots closer. I thought we gave them like too many their pull-ups, and I thought Kelly, the freshman Kelly, I thought she was terrific, and I thought her being able to get in there and make big-time shots. And so we just kind of got a little more aggressive with our ball screen defense late in hopes that we wouldn't give them comfortable looks.
Do you think that your depth wore down Carolina toward the end?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, listen, they're conditioned to play. You'd have to ask them, but they're conditioned to play. I mean, they play a lot of minutes almost every night, at least from the box scores that I've seen, and they're conditioned to do that. So I thought I don't want to speak for them. I thought foul trouble kind of hampered more stuff than on both sides, than like fatigue of the game.
All right, last couple questions, go to Wayne, and we'll go to Jalen.
Alicia, though she was in foul trouble most of the game, especially in the second half, but she still came up with a huge rebound. I believe it was a 2-point game, and then she got a free throw.
Yeah.
And a huge streak. Can you talk about her impact, even if she has an off night shooting?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about the box court today is she was plus 21, by far our highest player. Our team was, when she was in the game, we were, did I read that right? Plus 21? Yeah. So think about that. And she was frustrated because she picked up a couple fouls, and you're right, she wasn't scoring at her normal rate. And what I told her after the game, and I told our team after the game, is never let a performance where you're struggling offensively get you down or make you think you can't impact winning. Like the best compliment I can give a player is that they impact winning. And even though she probably would have loved to have scored better today, she impacted winning at a high level all over the floor, and just that she was able to stay focused and locked in. Her athleticism was a game changer for us, and you're right, that hustle play late was big.
All right, last question, goes to Jalen.
Kara, what does it mean for your team to pull off this big comeback and show such positive characteristics on your National Girls and Women in Sports Celebration Day?
Yeah, a little bit of what I talked about before, like the celebration, the crowd, the afternoon, both teams and their supporters, cheering loudly, and for young girls that were at the game to see that, not just young girls, young boys too, to see that. It was a celebration, of women's sports today. And it's great, it's great that they can see, interact with these players and have those types of role models and goals, to be able to do this. And, I think that more than anything is something, I know for me when I was a young player, going to games and watching games on TV and seeing, female athletes playing basketball at a high level was really inspiring for me as a player. And it gave me something to shoot for, something I wanted to work toward, and something that I wanted to achieve. So now, my players are the ones that, are those role models and the ones that the little girls and boys look up to.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you all.